My name is Kafu Amega, the CEO of Eclipse Collateral Management and Advisory Services. Eclipse Collateral Management and Advisory Services have been in existence for 2 years, and our core business is to provide third-party collaterals to businesses to be able to get funding from the banks. At Eclipse Collateral Management and Advisory Service, we offer 4 main service lines. The first is Project Transformation Funding Program, where we are able to assist contractors to be able to access funding from the banks to execute their project under turnkey under our input management principles. Collateral Brokerage Service, which is the second service line, where businesses that have been able to secure facilities from the bank but they don't have the necessary collaterals to be able to draw down, we're able to offer them with third-party collaterals to be able to draw down their facilities from the bank. The third service line is the Credit Brokerage Service. The Credit Brokerage Service is where businesses that are viable and have the potentials for growth would approach us. We'll refer them to the banks. Once the bank do the assessment and then they feel that the business can meet their needs, we are able to provide them with the collateral so they will be able to draw facilities from the bank. The fourth service line is our Prime Brokerage Service. Our Prime Brokerage Service has purely been designed for property owners who are willing to use their properties as third-party collaterals to earn decent income at the back of those properties at a risk-free environment. With our Prime Brokerage Services, we have created a platform that is called the Prime Security Depository. The Prime Security Depository has got 3 main legs. The first leg is where property owners are able to lodge their properties onto that platform. Once they lodge their properties onto that platform, we are able to authenticate the property and then validate the property. We validate and authenticate this property to know that yes, indeed, the property document has been fully perfected. Secondly, the property belongs to the actual property owner and it has not been impersonated. The other aspect is where we are also able to do the current valuation on the property to know the actual market value of the property at the point where the property is being lodged on the platform. The third leg is where, when all these things has been satisfied, we are able to link the property owners to businesses that also have come onto the platform to be able to assess those properties at third-party collaterals. And then what happens with that, before a business can be able to assess a property from that platform, we will also have to do a duly detailed check on the business to see if the business is viable, if the business has got the potential to repay back the facility that they want to take from the bank. And also what happens is that before a business can be assigned a property as a third-party collateral on the platform, the business owner would also have to be assessed to see if he has an alternative property that we can also accept as a collateral to be able to dilute the collateral that we are going to give to him to use as a third-party collateral. What happens with the alternative collateral is that the business might have a collateral that he would want to give to the banks, but because the collateral document is not fully perfected, the bank will not accept those documents to be able to on-lend to them a facility. Therefore, on the Prime Security Depository platform, we create an avenue called Collateral Dilution Section. The Collateral Dilution Section is where at that section we have 2 main important documents that sit under that section. That is the Sales and Purchase Agreement and then the Deed of Assignment. So the business owner would have to sign the Sales and Purchase Agreement for us and then the Deed of Assignment at the back of the property that he's using to dilute our collateral that we are giving to them. What happens is that upon a potential default on the part of the business owner, we activate the SPA, that's the Sales and Purchase Agreement, and then the Deed of Assignment, so we'll be able to dispose of that property to be able to pay off the facility that stands in the books of the banks upon a potential default, and then to be able to free our property from any encumbrances. So the property owner can earn decent economic income at the back of his property document without going through any risk of losing his or her property. Before a property can be accepted onto our Prime Security Depository platform, it has got 3 tenors that the property owner would have to choose from. The first tenor is the short term, which is usually between a period of 1 year to 3 years. We have our medium term, which is also between 3 years to 5 years. And then we have our long term, which is 5 years and above. All these tenors are renewable every year. That once we are able to assign a property to a business, the business owner will have to renew those properties every year for us to see how healthy the business is doing and how healthy our property is also supporting those businesses. But when you are able to lodge your property onto our platform and then you want to terminate the tenure in between, you only have to inform us, so we'll be able to swap off a property with your property and then be able to release your property document to you. With the banks, we work as a complementary service to them. Whilst the banks lend credit facilities to these business people, we are also able to support these businesses with a third-party collateral. So what usually happens is that anytime there is a default and the banks are having these huge NPLs in their books, we are able, through our platform, to dispose of those assets that has been assigned to us under our SPA and the deed of assignment to be able to pay off the outstanding that sit in the bank's books. So at ECMA Collateral Management, we help the banks to reduce their non-performing loans that sit in their books. We also help businesses to raise monies to be able to expand their business, to see businesses grow, to get to their fullest potentials. We help property owners to maximize the revenue that they have to earn on their properties, where property owners would have to spend all the monies to build their properties, and then in their old ages, the properties are not earning them any income. The property only sits, but here, the property can be earning you extra income whilst you still enjoy your property at a risk-free environment. The banks are also able to now give out loans, ensuring that they have solid and perfect collaterals, and then when there are potential default, they are also able to realize their monies to reduce their non-performing loans, because collaterals that we have accepted as a collateral to dilute our collateral assets will be disposed of to be able to pay off the balances in our books. So at ECMA, we say things safe and decent economic income.